Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and look what we have here. Turns out Senator Elizabeth Warren is about to get all she can handle because John Deaton has entered the fray. Here we go.
Highland Park, Detroit. I grew up in real poverty in a dangerous, violent neighborhood. I got beat up, but I fought back. I learned life's lessons, and my motto became no fear and never give up. My mom, my hero, a single mom on welfare and food stamps who worked as many jobs as she could just to put food on the table. Most of the times, it was just beans and cornbread, but she did her best. They called me white trash, but I made it out. It wasn't easy. I was the only one in my family to graduate high school. I worked my way through college and New England School of Law, living in Roxbury. I joined the Marines, fought addiction, cancer, and mountains of debt. No fear, and I will never give up. After law school, I got married, became the proud father of 3 amazing daughters, and built the law practice. I fought for the little guy. I took on the greedy corporations and the heartless insurance companies, and I won. I took on the Washington insiders, and I won. I am running for U.S. Senate to continue my life's mission to shake things up for the people who need it most. Take on the drug and insurance companies for better, more accessible health care. Instead of just pointing the fingers at each other, actually work to solve the migrant crisis. Fight inflation that's crushing working families. Work for better opportunities for children. Take on Washington corruption and the division that's killing this country. We need term limits for these career politicians who have simply forgotten who elected them. Elizabeth Warren, well, she promised to be a champion for those in need. Instead, she gives lectures and plays politics and gets nothing done for Massachusetts.
And becomes worth $70 million.
I will work day and night to make a difference in your life. I know your life struggles because I've lived them. I know your dreams and your hopes for you and your family because I share them. I will fight for what is right because I have no fear and I will never give up.
John Deaton, U.S. Senate. John Deaton for Senate. So go to johndeatonforsenate.com, and we're going to need to start contributing. I will be contributing to John Deaton for Senate. I promise you that. This is going to become, John Deaton for Senate is going to be at the top of my profile. So go ahead and get ready, folks. It's coming. Now, Anthony Pompliano continues to be allowed to do his narrative-carrying promotion of Bitcoin. They're talking about the Bitcoin supply shock coming.
Cryptocurrencies, I mean, look at this. Over the past year, the price of the tokens has rocketed. Bitcoin doubling, up 113.3%. Ethereum climbing 74%.
Now I want you to think.
XRP, up a measly 42%.
Now I want you to think about this for a minute because this excites me as much as anything. Everything you're seeing right now is just speculation. There's no utility. None of that's really a factor in any of this. All this is speculation. I want you to think about all of the free press that Bitcoin and Ethereum get. To think that XRP is up 43% and they're not up any more than this, it tells the story more than anything. And then, of course, Anthony Pompliano comes on and acts like, oh, well, there's nothing besides Bitcoin. It's just this thing. Don't worry, Anthony. We remember your tweet from late 2017 where you know I don't know who you work for or what your job is in the narrative you carry, but you know.
So what's the next catalyst? It could be the Bitcoin halving event 1 month from today, or 2 months from today, I should say. But my question is it buy the rumor, sell the news? So Bitcoin is coming up so much into that event, then it sells off after. We ask Anthony Pompliano, Pump Investments investor in a Fox Business exclusive. What do you think of my theory?
So Bitcoin halving definitely matters. If you go back to economics class, anytime that you have something that happens in the market that everyone either doesn't know about or doesn't have the same opinion on, it's obviously going to have an impact. What we've seen is a demand shock with ETFs, so lots of capital is pouring in, and now we're going to have a supply shock. Right now, there's 900 Bitcoin a day that come into the market. When the halving occurs, we're going to go down to 450 Bitcoin per day. So naturally, if you have tons of demand and you have a decreasing incoming supply, the price has to go up to accommodate everyone. And we've seen this happen over and over and over again. I think that it may be less of a percent move, but in aggregate dollars, it will still be very, very meaningful over the coming 18 months.
So how high does the price go?
Look, historically, Bitcoin's price has gone up hundreds of percent. I wouldn't be shocked if Bitcoin went over $100,000 in the next 18 months. But also, I think that the ground is moving a little bit. There's a lot of different things that are occurring. New types of investors are coming into the market. There's new investment. Who are
the
vehicles.
New types of investors? Because of this.
Well,
okay.
Bitcoin is now one of the favorite assets of any Wall Street investor. If you think about it, Wall Street investors have been suffering returns because they can't keep up with the indexes in the equity market. They now have the ability to put a little bit of Bitcoin. They can go buy a Bitcoin ETF and put 1 to 3% of their equity portfolio into it. And now that will juice their returns and hopefully help them compete against that index. On top of that, you now have them able to allocate capital to what's been the best performing asset for the last 15 years.
On top of that, he knows that Bitcoin's a pile of crap compared to XRP. But what is his reason for acting like he doesn't? Just like, what is the reason Homeland Security pretends that they don't know who the 4 Satoshis are? What are the reasons? I have a feeling one day we're going to find out those reasons, and it's going to become very clear. 7-day XRP 10.47%, 30-day 7%, on the year 45%. That's pretty miraculous when you consider that these two get all of the press, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they get all of the perception for Ethereum. Oh, a potential Ethereum ETF coming now. They're getting all of that, and they're only outperforming XRP by this? I know what's coming. Now, I saw this going around, and I just wanted to show it to you because it is so relevant to everything going on right now. All the corruption, we just showed you John Deaton running against Senator Warren and all that. This is where it started for me, is the financial crisis. That was when I saw them for the first time. In fact, wait till you see XRP Unleashed, because I go into this and I go into how I was burned by the financial crisis and how that related to when ETHgate came along. For me, that was these guys. They picked their winners and losers and just destroyed American families, and then they picked all their friends who were gonna get bailed out and who wasn't. And then fast forward to ETHgate, the same group of people are going to try to pick the winners and losers in crypto, and that's when I took my stand. Here's the
from the financial capital of the world. The opening bell is going to ring in 5 seconds, and to be honest with you, we wish it wouldn't.
Traders here working the phone say a lot of their customers are freaked out, waiting to see how low the Dow will go. They're focused on the Dow, not so focused on OPEC. Yes, OPEC did cut production by 1.5 million barrels per day.
Really, you're seeing just broad-based declines across all of the major technology sectors. Apple's under pressure, Yahoo down 8.5%, Cisco 6.5%, Research in Motion 10%.
And we're not getting the bid wanted. We're not getting the stop trading.
Yeah, Jim Cramer was really upset because he wanted the feds to step in so all his friends could not have any losses.
We see where the buyers are. We're just every day they're pounding it.
The heightened financial turmoil that we have experienced of late may well lengthen the period of weak economic performance and further increase the risk to growth.
Can't look at it after you buy it. It's so horrible.
But we've had an 8-day lose.
It is not a coincidence that Bitcoin was hatched right in the middle of that, folks. I've always thought, I think that they were worried that if they lost the trust of the American people, that the American people would not just hit the exits from the stock market, but from treasuries and the things that the government wanted them in. I believe they created Bitcoin as a part of that plan. That's what so that when the people hit the exits, they wouldn't hit the exits into physical gold and silver, but they would instead hit it into this new fool's gold ? Okay, speaking of someone who tells the truth about the government, I saw this clip going around yesterday. This is, what's his name? It's G. Edward Griffin. He's the one that wrote the book on the creature from Jekyll Island, on the formation of the Federal Reserve. Make no mistake, the times we're in have everything to do with those times.
Purchasing power, whatever that unit is, somebody gains it. Nobody asks, well, it went to somebody. Who did it go to? And if you want to follow the loss of the purchasing power that the consumer suffered through, the gain came to the cartel members, which is a partnership between government and banks. So the gain came to the government and to the Federal Reserve System, which is the cartel of the banks. So that's it. So now, why would they be doing crashing the banking system? And we can see that's actually happening. So now we come to the question, when is it going to collapse? Well, it's collapsing right now, if it hasn't already, and the banks are leading it. They want it to collapse. Now, isn't that an interesting, funny thing for me to say? Why would the banks want their banking system to collapse? And the answer is very simple, because they have something better in mind, at least better for them.
CBDC.
Won't involve the old traditional use of money at all. Money will disappear as we have known it. They have this thing called the central bank digital currencies, which is something they will control. It won't be your money or mine, it's their money. We'll be allowed to use it if we obey their dictates, and they'll have complete control over us. This is why they are crashing the banking system now, because they want the dollar to collapse, so that people will be desperate, and they'll be looking to the same people that caused the problem to create a solution to the problem. And people will be so desperate they'll accept anything, including this horrible thing called central bank digital currencies. Now it took a long time to answer your question, but it's because they have an idea of something better for them and worse for us. What is the Great Reset? Well, that's not just monetary, it's social and cultural as well. Yes. And
okay, you get the picture. Eleanor Tarrant said she's looking forward to the Future of Digital Assets dinner hosted by Digital Chamber in May. This is going to be the same few days when we have XRP Las Vegas. All the links are in the description of this video to get tickets to XRP Las Vegas. This is a separate event with separate tickets. Now, they dropped the price on this in half. Now, John Deaton, who is now running for Senate, is going to be there too. Brad Garlinghouse, Michael Arrington, Chris Giancarlo, Eleanor Tarrant, they're all going to be there. And this thing, see, Michael Arrington said, whoop, free dinner. So he's coming too. All right. I had a couple more clips from James Wallace from Ripple. Listen to this one.
With the digital lari, there are...
That's a similarity to replace the cash.
Yeah, it's a digital form of cash. Right, yeah. Exactly. But with this project, I think one of the distinctions about it is there's looking at tokenizing bonds. So retail consumers can get access to bond securities.
Listen to this part.
Looking at tokenizing real estate. There's a payroll element to the pilot. And then there's an offline element. So this is when you have your mobile phone, if you have no internet connection, you can still make purchases. So,
ooh, an offline. And then there was this one where they're working with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority.
We recently did a project in Hong Kong with the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, which is the central bank in Hong Kong. And it was to tokenize real estate. So people have a property, you can tokenize that and represent that on the blockchain. And in this particular project, people were able to release capital from their property in the form of a CBDC. It was all done through a smart contract process. So essentially, if I'm making up the numbers, but if there was $100,000 worth of equity at the house, the bank was able to pre-approve how much of that could be borrowed, and then when the individual says, yes, I want to apply for this, it all sort of happened automatically. Now, this was a pilot, so it wasn't real money, right? It was an example of how you can program capabilities into the monetary financial system, which is, I personally think, is one of the most exciting things about digital currency, is what you can do with it that you can't do easily with today's system.
Okay, in DAIXRP.com, what we're gonna go a little further into the video where Charles Hoskinson says, "You have no proof. You have no proof. That's a total grand conspiracy. You have no proof that anyone at the SEC," which we never said. "You said that the SEC was bribed and to sue Ripple." No. What we said is that we had a lot of facts around this and that it needed to be investigated. That's what we said, or that's at least what I said. There may have been people in his comments saying that, but it wasn't me. Now, we're going to go into that, and I'm going to show you the evidence we do have of different things around that. And I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. We have all the receipts. Come see them. All right.